Last week, Ian spoke to us about love ruling in our lives. I want you to hold on to that thought as we now reflect and think about that tough emotion, that tough action of forgiveness. That's what our gospel reading, and partly as well what our reading from Romans is all about this morning. Now, we're all very different. We all behave and think very differently. So we will all therefore have a different understanding of what forgiveness is. So back to love. God commands us to love our neighbour as ourselves. Well, that means to treat each other with understanding and to forgive each other as God forgives us. Jesus said we were to forgive not just 7 times, but 77 times. So this morning, that's what we're going to be thinking about. Forgiving those who have hurt us, just as God forgives us all the times that we get it wrong. And also, how we need to forgive ourselves. Forgiveness is difficult to grant or to receive. It's not like you can just squeeze your eyes tightly shut and declare something forgiven, and everything reverts back to the way it was before the offence took place. Have you ever thought that you'd forgiven something and then later you feel that same animosity as you did before? We may have to forgive the same offence 77 times. I forgive you, and I'm working on, and I'm continuing to work on forgiving you again and again. So how do we forgive? Well, the Bible teaches us that unselfish love is the basis for true forgiveness. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, that famous section on love that's used at so many weddings, it says, it keeps no record of wrongs. Forgiving others means letting go of resentment and giving up any claim to be compensated for the hurt or the loss we have suffered. Right, so hold on tight because we're going to dive in now. What is forgiveness? What does that word mean to you? Forgiveness. I've had some time to think about this week, and I believe forgiveness is a powerful act that holds the potential to heal wounds, mend broken relationships, and bring peace to our hearts and to our minds. In our lives, we do often encounter situations where we feel hurt, betrayed, or wronged by others. And these experiences, they can leave us carrying heavy burdens of anger, resentment, bitterness. Yet forgiveness offers us the opportunity to release these burdens and to find freedom. We need to be aware, though, that forgiveness is not a sign of weakness. It actually requires great strength and courage. It is a conscious choice to let go of the pain and extend compassion and understanding to those who have caused us harm. When we forgive, we free ourselves from the chains of negativity, and we open the doors of healing and also personal growth. it's important for us all to remember forgiveness does not mean condoning or forgetting the actions that caused us the pain. Instead, it is a transformative process that allows us to rise above the hurt and choose a path of love and empathy. Therefore, by forgiving, we break that cycle of negativity and we create a space of reconciliation and restoration. Now, forgiveness is not limited to forgiving others. It also includes forgiving ourselves. You've heard that correctly. Forgiving includes forgiving ourselves. We all make mistakes and we have regrets, but dwelling on them only hinders our personal growth. And it may cause distress in our life. When we forgive ourselves, we acknowledge our imperfections, we learn from our experiences, and we give ourselves permission to move forward, to move on with wisdom and compassion. In practicing forgiveness, we must recognize that it's not easy, as I said. Hopefully over time, we will forgive the person who wounded us. And in this process, we also will free ourselves of the heavy burden that we've been carrying. Bear in mind that the lack of forgiveness usually has more effect on us than on the individual we need to forgive. If we're not able to forgive the other person, we may be the one who carries the heavier burden. True, it's not easy to let go of that anger and that hurt. However, and this is crucial, if we can place that anger, the hurt, the resentment into God's hands, over time, God will heal our resentment, our hurt, and our anger. However, it may take time. The grace is that Jesus does not expect us to deal with these hurts and resentments alone. God walks with us, encourages us, and over time gives us the grace to let go and to forgive the one who hurt us. However, patience we need. And we need to keep coming back to God and asking to help us forgive. He wants us to ask him to free us of this burden, this pain. God is with us, and he will answer our prayers. We need to trust him. Forgiveness brings inner peace, harmony, and a renewed sense of joy. It allows us to build stronger, more authentic connections with others and to restore harmony within our relationships, our communities, and wider. The moral of this parable in our gospel reading is that when we realize how much God has forgiven us of our many sins and how he forgives us over and over again without keeping a record, it should produce in us a free and generous attitude of forgiveness towards others. So, Lord, may we have the strength to forgive, the humility to seek forgiveness, and the wisdom to foster a culture of forgiveness in our lives. Amen. I always think of Sally when it's this time, because normally I'd hand it over to her. Sally, do the notices, please. So I think let's continue to pray for Sally and Paul as Sally's on sabbatical. Let's hold them in our prayers, praying that they are having a really relaxing, peaceful and fun time. And remember, it's our church walk this afternoon, leaving from the clock tower at 2:30. It's a circular walk of about 5 miles, stopping for tea and cake at Holton Church. And if you fancy a shorter walk, you can join them there. This Friday at 2:00, it is a celebration service for the life of Mary Pace, and her daughters warmly invite you to join them as we come together to give thanks for, can you hear me? Yeah, you can. To give thanks for Mary's life. Now, it's really important, it's our strapline, that St. Mary's be at the heart of the community. In order to do that, our services need to be accessible to all. Now, we do continue to live stream every Sunday both services. This gives an opportunity to those of us, for whatever reason, cannot be here and join us to worship and praise. To continue this, we need some more volunteers. We've had our young people, which is wonderful, disappear, or they will be disappearing to university. So if this is something that you feel that you can do, could you please get in touch with Claire Morton, who organises the rota, or otherwise Julie in the office, please. And that's all the notices. That was short and sweet this morning, wasn't it?